Hello, I'm Richard Murphy, and I'm making a series of videos about why we need to tax multi-millionaires more. Now, the first thing I need to say is that we don't need their money because all government spending is financed out of money that the government creates, as the COVID crisis and quantitative easing have proved. But we do need to tackle inequality in society, and the wealthy are getting wealthier and the rest of us relatively therefore are getting poorer. And the fact is that this creates instability in society and also has consequences. For example, the wealthy are forcing up rents, and if rents are forced up, ordinary people pay more, access to housing is denied, there is greater social stress, and on and on. Now, how can we tackle this problem? Some people say it's a wealth tax. I personally put wealth tax as the absolute bottom of my pile of things to ask for. And that's for a very simple, straightforward reason. It's hard to introduce a wealth tax. It would take a long time to agree what to do, and we don't know how much it would affect and when it would have consequence. But there are a lot of other things that we can do in the meantime. And I don't make a complaint and ask for change unless I've got a solution in mind. And one of the solutions I have in mind, and I have discussed others and they are linked below this video, one of the solutions that I have in mind is that we should equalise the rate at which all tax reliefs are given inside the UK income tax system. The reason why I say this is that at present, a great many tax reliefs within that system are given at higher rate to those with higher income than they are given at to those with lower income. Let me give a very simple example. If I am a 40% taxpayer in most years because, well, that's what comes about if you are a professor, for example, and you're paid on the scale rates that professors are, then I have an element of my income that is charged to tax at the 40% tax rate. If I make a contribution to a pension, I get tax relief on that contribution at 40%. In other words, for every pound I pay, effectively the cost is only 60p. But if I was a lower rate earner, and I have been in my life, of course, I could make the same contribution to a pension, and it would be just as important to me, but I would only get tax relief at 20p on the contribution I make, meaning that the pound I save would cost me 80p. Now, why is it that the savings of the wealthy are subsidised at double the rate of the savings of those with lower income? It simply makes no social, economics or ethical sense. There's another example I will use, but there are plenty more, but this one matters as well. Suppose I, as a higher rate taxpayer, make a gift to charity, and I do. And you will all be familiar, if you make gifts to charity, with the appeal, please fill in the gift aid form. And so the wealthy person fills in, the higher person with higher rate income, fills in the gift aid form, and having done so, they can actually not just benefit the charity, who then can claim back an additional tax rate, the equivalent to the basic rate tax paid on that gift, but the person who has made the contribution can also claim tax relief on the contribution that they've made. They effectively offset that pound against their income and get tax relief on part of it. Now, I stress it's part of it, but the net effect is that overall, the charity gets back the 20p tax paid by anybody who fills in a gift aid form. But the higher rate taxpayer also basically gets back another 20p, and that 20p that they get back reduces their cost of giving to charity from 80p per pound donated to the charity's benefit to 60p. Now, the numbers don't work quite like that, and I'm well aware they don't. I'm simplifying them for the sake of the presentation. But the point I'm making is clear. The fact is, the wealthy again get a benefit which is not available to those on low income. And some wealthy people do frankly use this to their advantage. George Osborne, to his credit, tried to remove this inequality. And I think I and John Christensen, who was then at the Tax Justice Network, were just about the only two people who sang his praise for doing so. Everybody else shouted, oh, this is going to be terrible, it's going to end charity in the UK. I love the idea that we may not need charity for so many reasons in the UK because we have decent tax-paid services. But whatever the reason, the wealthy do not actually tend to give to real charitable causes, for example, those relieving poverty, to the extent that those on lower income do. And they do very much favour their own particular causes. Oddly, those who give to the Royal Opera House tend to be those with higher income. Those who have their own charitable foundations being used to direct, well, gifts for their own aggrandizement in some cases, putting their names on the front of institutions or whatever it might be, tend to be the wealthy. And they're getting a tax subsidy to do that. Well, I think that's wrong. I believe that all tax reliefs, whoever makes them, should be provided at one rate, because the pound donated by the person is worth the same, whoever gave it, and the pound contributed to savings should be treated equally, whoever saved. To me, this seems plain, straightforward ethics. It seems plain, straightforward justice, and it would massively simplify the tax system and reduce some of the abuses that we have seen. So why not do it? Only because the UK tax system has a bias to the rich built into it, and so does UK politics. It's time that that bias was taken out of the UK tax system. It was time that everybody was treated equally by the UK tax system, which this suggestion would require, and it is time that UK politics removed its bias to the wealthy and treated everybody as if they were equal participants in this country, which they should be. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in what I've been saying in this video, please subscribe. There is a button below the viewing screen. If you're interested in what I have to say on Twitter, I'm at Richard J. Murphy on that medium. If you want to look at my blog, that's taxresearch.org.uk, and we have a Facebook page as well, Richard J. Murphy. So one of those things will get you more information on what this video series is about, and I hope I'll see you again soon.